Hello Jawas. Today we're going to build the LED eye assembly for our sound masks. This is a completed unit and it's pretty simple. Just a 10mm amber LED, a pair of 6-inch wires for connection, and a current limiting resistor hidden here under the heat shrink tubing. And I will light this up with a coin cell battery so that you can see that it works. Notice that I'm careful. The coin cell battery has a positive side that gets the red wire. The negative side gets the black wire. So let's take a look at the individual components. Here's our LED, which we're currently sourcing from a company called Adafruit. Nothing about magic about them, but amber LEDs can actually vary in color quite a bit, so make sure you like the color you're getting. This one is yellow when it's not lit, but the color of the light comes from the diode itself, so some LEDs might be white or clear. Notice that the leads coming off the LEDs are of different lengths. LEDs are sensitive to the direction of current flow, so we have to make sure that the short lead is connected to the negative power. It will not light if we do this the other direction. So we're going to be careful about polarity throughout this process. I recommend you test everything before and after assembly, just because you will not be a happy Jawa if you get this wrong. So this is our current limiting resistor. You have to have one of these on each LED to limit the current going through it. The resistance value you need is a function of the supply voltage, the LED's current requirements, and the voltage drop across it. This resistor is 150 ohms, which is sized to our LED and our 5-volt power supply. And I also have a couple of 5-inch wires that I've pre-cut and bared the ends of. So let's start the actual soldering. To keep myself sane, I do this the same way every time. Remember, the short wire is the negative wire. I'm going to cut that shorter yet. Cut off one end of my resistor a little short. I'm going to tin both sides with a little bit of solder. And then connect them. Having done that, we'll repeat this process, this time attaching the negative cable, our black line, to the resistor that we just added. Now we'll flip this around and do the same thing with our positive cable. But because we're doing this in this order, we hopefully will not get this wrong. Okay, before we declare that we're done, we're going to test this one more time. Positive wire, red wire to the positive side of the battery, black to negative, and we do have a functional LED. That being the case, we can add some heat shrink tubing, and your heat shrink is hopefully big enough to slide straight over this resistor. I've got a little bit of a solder bump on this that I will clip off. Add heat shrink to our positive side. I'll shrink this on. And we've got a completed LED assembly. 2 of these per Jawa. One more note before we put these LED assemblies aside until later. A lot of LEDs out there actually kind of project a beam out the end of them. You can see this one's actually lighting up a circle. That's actually awkward in our Jawa eyes because it's going to light up a circle on the inside of our eyes. What we would rather have is an LED that doesn't do that, that just has more general lighting pattern. So you can see the difference between how these two LEDs actually project light. What we're going to do to fix that with this LED is actually rough it up with the end of with a Dremel with a sandpaper bit on it. So I'm going to turn off the sound and fast forward a minute and let you see how this works. All right, and now, let me see, we're no longer projecting a type beam out of the end. Now these two LEDs look pretty similar. So before you put your LEDs aside, just rough this guy up. You might be able to do this with sandpaper. We use the Dremel because that's convenient, but whatever works for you.